Okay, are we saying, are we gay? No, we're homosexuals. Homosexuals.
You were not homosexual. Okay.
Hi, it's Chelsea.
And Chris.
And we are LBC Party of Five.
This video is in response to a question that we received months ago. We were a little reluctant to respond to it, but we were led and we agreed that we weren't going to shy from this topic, that we were going to bring it to light.
Yes. And it was actually different periods of time. We've been asked this question by different people. And as you can tell in the title, is that the fact that we are Christians. I don't consider myself to be religious. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ. So
same for me.
Yes. So in this, what is going to be our intro, because like she said, we both were led to do this. As many questions as we've been asked about this topic, and even meeting people out in public, people that we are just meeting, it comes up. It somehow comes up.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but even in our comment section, or the people that follow us or the people that we follow, they're part of the LGBT community, and the first thing is, something in regards to Christ.
Right. Or I'll respond to a question and they'd be like, wow, you sound a lot more, like a Christian than my Christian friends do, and this is coming from me, a lesbian.
Right.
So let's just get right into it. As an intro, we just want to answer the initial question that was asked to us. Yes, we are Christians, and a little background behind that. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Oh, I guess how we became Christians.
Right.
My walk with Christ is a little bit different from Chelsea's. Growing up, my parents didn't focus on religion or anything like that. My father had a relationship with Christ, but it wasn't really consistent, or at least I didn't see any consistency with it. It wasn't something that they talked about. It wasn't something that they even mentioned really growing up. So they kind of just let us go and discover our own things. So for a long time, I was just kind of just searching for answers, searching for my truth. And I went through all the major religions, and it wasn't until getting older and coming out that someone challenged me, and they were like, well, let me just back up. I called myself
Long story.
I know, long story. It's a long story, but I called myself a bootleg Buddhist for the longest time. And it's funny because I had all these books about Buddhism and Buddha and finding the way or whatever, and I was never able to finish one single book, and I had stacks of them. And it wasn't until one day, I was talking to a coworker, and he was like, talking about Christ, and I was like, oh, I don't really agree with that religion. They don't accept me, and they hate me because I'm gay, and I can't be a Christian because I'm gay. And he goes, where does it say that in the Bible? So in order to prove him wrong, I read the entire Bible, and I couldn't find that answer. And then during my studies and trying to prove this guy wrong, that's when I found Christ in my life.
And with me, I had the flip sides to that. I was brought up in a Christian home. My mother was my father's too, but it was more so my mother was very religious, Bible thumper, to the point where it was, well, I'll get into that. Okay, so I was brought up in a Christian household, meaning going to church on every Sunday. I even went with my mom. She did Bible studies on a weekly basis as well, so I would go to those things. But as a child, I wasn't really getting into it. I wasn't really listening to it. It was just me being present, but not really present and listening to the message. So it was definitely pushed on me. But I always did consider myself Christian. I did go to the children's, Bible study groups and stuff like that. Or what do they call it?
Sunday school?
Yeah, Sunday school.
I didn't even know what that was. That was like a secret club, I thought. I'm like, oh, and then communion. I can't take that.
Well, that was when I really found Christ, was through, going to the Sunday schools. However, I did shy away from it as I got older. I always felt like I had a close relationship with Jesus. However, the more that I was interacting with other Christians, or what are we going to call them, hypocristians, the more that I would interact with them and hear, their interpretation of the Bible, knowing deep that I was gay, it was rubbing me the wrong way. So little by little, I was shying away from it, not because of any difference that I felt or any less. What am I trying to say? It's not because I wasn't feeling close to Jesus, but it basically just came down to, if this is what a Christian is supposed to be, I don't want nothing to do with it, because they were very judgmental. They were just totally the opposite of me. Like, I'm very fair. I'm gonna love you. I'm gonna respect you regardless. And that's not the way that they were handling themselves. That's not how they were carrying themselves. So being in a Christian school for elementary into the beginning of high school, until I got kicked out. Yeah, y'all saw that too. There's just been so many situations that have come up, and it just, the bottom line was, if this is what Christianity is about, I just don't want anything to do with it. So I did shy away for quite some years, and actually the breaking point was when my cousin passed. I was so angry at God and didn't understand why he would take her away from me, and that was the final straw. It was the hypocrites, and then that was the final straw, and I was just like, I was done. I was done for a while, and I didn't come back to claiming that I was a Christian and wanting to grow in that relationship, with Christ until after we were married. We were, shopping for a house, and our realtor, who is actually now a minister as well, she was obviously doing her job, making, helping us find a house. And she was like, you know what? I think you would really like the church that I'm a member of. I think you would really like it. They're very accepting, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, we went there one time to see, that's how she got us there. She's also a singer. So she was performing on one of the Wednesday nights, and we went there, and it was just amazing. The minute that you walk in the door, you just felt his presence. You felt like you were surrounded by love.
And not to interrupt you again, but this was before I was saved, so I felt like if I walked across that threshold, I was gonna burst into flames, just woof, like like an Avenger, like woof, like I was going to burn, because that's what was ingrained with everything that I came across dealing with Christianity. So I went knowing that I was gonna combust for my wife, because we wanted to see, we wanted to support our friend.
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So she was the one that brought me, I'm going to say that led me back to Christ, put me back on that right path. So thank you, Jill, for that. But yeah, that was the background of my Christian walk, my story with Christ. The other part of this question, the first one that we did receive that we're answering now, as I look at it, is how do you resolve the conflict between your lifestyle and your religion?
Right.
For me, it wasn't hard at all. The more that I was learning, the more that I was reading and finding out what Christianity was for myself, the more I realized that God really does love me just the way that I was made. And I believe that I was made perfectly in his image. All Christian, everybody is made perfectly in his image. And this is me. I'm not. Yes, I understand that, it is in the Bible that homosexuality is a sin, but to be honest, what is not a sin? That is Old Testament. I love the New Testament. That's what I live in the Old Testament. In the New Testament. There are a lot of good stories to learn from in the Old Testament, but I'm not under that law no more. So I'm under grace. So that's where I stand on that. There is no conflict with me, because I know that I'm upholding what he wants me to do. I know that I am loving him and putting him first in everything that I do, and I know that I'm going to love the next person. And that's the two greatest commandments. It came out of his words. in Matthew. I don't remember the exact, I'll put it in the description box, but it's his own words. The 2 greatest commandments that you can follow is to love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and to love your neighbor. And if I'm going to go ahead and be judged just because I am homosexual, then that's on them. We are not here to sway you one way or the other. This is our experience, and this is how we're, not even how we're reading the Bible. We found it for ourselves, and I'm taking it word for word from the Bible. That's what I'm doing. I was set here to let my light, gay flag, swaying too at the same time, because you can have both at the same time. Now, my sexuality has nothing to do with my walk with Jesus.
Right.
If there is anything that weighs on my heart, and trust me, like I'm not here either to advocate that it is not a sin, because it is in the Bible. If you're going to take one thing, you have to take it all. So I'm not denying that it is labeled as a sin in the Bible. However, if that's the worst thing that I can be doing, then so be it. In your eyes, in other people's eyes, if that's the worst thing that I can be doing, you're gonna judge me just solely based on that, then that's on you. I can't help you with that. All I can do is express and show you my love despite your judgment against me. And I won't be the one to judge them. I'm not gonna be one of those hypocrites.
Right, and I always say that Chelsea is the better Christian in this relationship, because her walk with Christ is, she's like advanced, and I'm like, novice.
I won't say that.
But in certain situations,
you read the whole Bible. I haven't read the whole Bible yet. I haven't gotten through.
I'm also a big nerd. But anyways, as far as the conflict for me, if it wasn't for this quote unquote sinful relationship, I would have never accepted Christ into my heart. I still would have been a bootleg Buddhist walking around lost in the wilderness. So, I thank God for sending her in my life, because I wouldn't have, accepted Jesus in my heart. I would still be lost. Like, I would never, no.
And that's the thing too, like, this is another reason why we were both, it was in our hearts to do this, because if everybody is going to be closed-minded and not want to talk to you just because they find out that you're gay, or they found out that for whatever reason you're different from them and they want to judge you for it. If that's how they're going to show you that that's how they are a Christian, right, and that's not what an actual Christian is supposed to do, that's not how they're supposed to carry themselves, that's not how they're supposed to act. Right. We want to be that, that person that, right, you can come to. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. If we know the answer, we'll find it if we don't know it. But we don't want to. We want to be
a living example.
The exception, right? The living example.
We want to be a living example of people who are in the LGBT community and who love Christ, because there's a lot of us, and it's like kind of like a shameful thing. It's like, oh, how can you be part of a religion that hates you? And no, that's not the case. That's really
those
not the
people
case.
May hate me, but right, God does not hate me.
Right, and and it wasn't until I found out that God, accept the fact that God loves me, then that was when I was able to love him back. Because they always tell you you're unlovable, you're an abomination, you're this, you're that, and that's all contrary to what's in the Word. So
read your Word, read it for yourself. Don't go based on somebody else's judgments that they want to pass on you, another label that they want to affix to you. Don't go by that. Read for yourself. You need to do that for yourself.
And don't be ashamed for loving them. Don't.
No. Yep, so we wanted to keep it short. I knew this first one was going to be long because we were going to do backgrounds, but we do want to continue this series. We are going to come back with another episode. I'll call it an episode next week, so look out for that. We are going to continue on from this, and hopefully it won't be as long-winded, because we will have a topic each time. And if you have any questions, again, feel free to drop us an email, leave a comment down below. Email if you want to be anonymous and not, you don't want to put yourself out there, that's fine. But we really feel that this is something that needs to be brought out into the open, because there aren't many, we're not seeing it, and we are happy to be
right. And I've never seen anybody who got saved after coming out. I mean, I've never seen anybody with my kind of story, so,
I was trying to close out and you just started.
My bad.
Oh,
my bad.
All right, so we hope you enjoyed the first Shine Bright episode of this series, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye, guys.